This morning, we want to look at another pasuk found in Parshat Kedoshim, and it's a pasuk very similar to the one we saw before, that it says, Lo tikom v'lo titor et b'nei amecha, v'ahavta recha kamocha. It's a complexity in understanding the structure of the pasuk and the connection between it. The pasuk I'm referring to is found in pasuk Yud Zayin, Perak Yud Tet, pasuk Yud Zayin Vayikra. And it says, Lo tisna et achicha bilvavecha. Do not hate, do not feel negativity to your brother in your heart. Hochiach tochiach et amitecha. Truly rebuke him, and we're going to see if the word rebuke is the best translation, but let's use that in the meantime. You should for sure give him rebuke. Lo tisa alav chet. Do not carry to him, do not in relationship to him, have a chet. So again, there's a number of questions here on this puzzle. The first obvious question is, what would cause you to hate somebody? Again, we know the general idea of Ya'adut. We've talked about the idea of being metakin midot. We talked about the idea of ahavta recha kamocha. Sina is a very strong characteristic, and it says, Lo tisna et achicha, your brother. We're not talking about somebody, that you have no relationship to. Why would you come to hate your brother? And then obviously after it says that, then there seems to be two more phrases. Rebuke, and then after that, something about a relationship of chet to him. So just like we did in the pasuk of Lo tikom v'lo titor, we're going to see that the pasuk here really has a process. And the process starts with the fundamental problem of what happens when you're aware of somebody doing things wrong. You see somebody conducting themselves on a standard, on a conduct level that's inappropriate. It could be anything. It could be they're guilty of lashon hara. It could be they're gonev, they're stealing. It could be that they have improper business ethics. What would be the attitude of, I think, a regular person when they see somebody conducting themselves inappropriately? You basically lose your respect for them. And the more you lose your respect for them, and the more you're aware of it, the truth is this would come to a point of wanting to distance yourself from them. Hate doesn't mean that I have this visceral attitude in my heart that I got to rip him apart. I don't want to have any contact with him. I don't want to have any connection. But he's achicha. I don't want to have a connection with my brother. There's a stira here. On one hand, he's achi. But on the other hand, I disrespect him. How do I get beyond that? Hochiach tochiach. The only way to get beyond that is, again, to correct them. The word rebuke. But we're going to see that's very hard. If you don't do that, you're going to continue to have this feeling of sina bilvavcha in your heart. So the pasuk says, Lo tisa alav chet. Unless you do this process of hochiach tochiach, you're going to remain with this idea of the sina. Now the Gemara in Erchin, there's an unbelievable Gemara in Erchin that talks about how this is perhaps one of the most difficult mitzvot in the entire Torah. And I don't have to belabor the point, but just imagine, you see somebody, a classmate, a member of your community doing something wrong. And you go up to that person and say, wow, Moshe, what happened? What do you think the response is going to be? Will it typically be, "Oy, thank you very much for correcting me"? Or will you probably get a shpachtel? The Gemara in Erchin says, and again, it's a Gemara found on Tet Zayin Amud Bet, Amra of Torfim, to Mahani, I wonder, I would be amazed, Im yesh bedor hazeh shemekabel tochacha. Is there anybody in the generation who knows how to receive constructive criticism? Let's not use rebuke. Is there anybody who knows how to receive it? Why not? And he continues, Im amarlo tul kisem mi bein einecha. If you go and tell somebody, take the toothpick from between your eyes, in other words, you say, there's an issue here. Maybe we should deal with it. Amar lo, he responds, Tul korah mibeininecha. He says, take that timber between your eyes. In other words, if you go and try to correct somebody, they come back and look at you, and they say, who are you to give me rebuke? Who are you to correct me? What, you're perfect? The Gemara continues. Amr Rebbe Eliezer ben Azariah, Tamahari im yesh b'dor hazeh shodea lochiach. I don't know if there's anybody who knows how to give this. Not just is it a problem on the mekabel, on the person receiving, it's a problem on the one who gives it. Now, why is it such a big problem? I don't want to help. I think we can answer very quickly is because most people honestly don't feel that when one is giving them constructive criticism, they care about them. They don't care about them. They're doing it for other reasons. A principal is yelling at you perhaps or correcting you because the benefit of the school. The teacher because they want the conduct of the class going on. But do they care about you as an individual? Just like a parent. How can a parent get away at times punishing a child, rebuking a child? Because the child knows that the parent truly loves them. So they're willing to put up with that. They're willing to accept it ba'ahava. But from somebody else, they don't believe that there's truly ahava there. They don't believe that the person cares about them so much so that they're doing something that's very awkward. I'm going to go to you and tell you how to fix your life up and correct it. I know I'm also imperfect, but I do it because of a sense of care. I see something, I don't want this. I don't want this to remain a problem by you. And if I don't give you ochiach tochiach, lo tisa alav chet. You're going to be considered partially responsible because you haven't corrected him. So the idea here of ochiach tochiach, caring, getting involved, is unbelievably difficult. I want you to understand, this isn't just something, I see something, I do it. I have to really take time and think. I have to understand, what was the reason that the guy got to this? Why did he fall into that situation? What were the goals that he was looking for? What's the person's sensitivities? How do I relate to him? How do I approach him? This is a mitzvah that takes tremendous amount of personal sensitivity for that individual. I have to be able to feel them. I have to be able to empathize with them. The sense of love, no less than what a parent has for the child. It's got to be a point that you realize that this is mamish, your brother. This is right? This is somebody who you care about. And you're coming from a point of concern and true love. Bezrat Hashem, we should be able to always share that sense of caring and mutual improvement together.